And it's 10 o'clock. I don't think it's necessary to expand on what Noreen already said very eloquently. And, so let's start. What we're going to do is we have a Psalm 27 offering from Jack, which is a video that I'm going to start in a second. And then after that, Tasha's going to put us into breakout rooms to talk about Bernstein for half an hour.
Thank you.
Okay. So.
Hi, Jack.
Psalm 27, words by King David. The music inspired by Christine Jackman. Adonai Oribe Adonai Maoz B'chayai Mimi Echad. When evildoers came at me to eat up my flesh, even my adversaries and my foes, they stumbled and fell. Though a host should encamp against me, my heart shall not fear. Though war should rise up against me, even then I will be confident. Lahazot benoam Adonai ulevaker behechalo. For in the day of trouble he will keep me secretly in his sukkah. In the covert of his tent he will hide me. He will lift me up on a rock. Now my hand will be lifted up above my enemies around me. I will offer sacrifices of joy in his tent. I will sing, yes, I will sing praises to the Lord. Shema Adonai kol ekra v'choneini va'anei. When you said, seek my face, my heart said to you, I will seek your face, Lord. Don't hide your face from me. Don't put your servant away in anger. You have been my help. Don't abandon me. Neither forsake me, God of my salvation. Ki avi ve'imi azavuni va'Adonai yasafeni. Ki avimi azavuni va'Adonai yasafeni. Oreini Adonai datecha ucheini ve'orach mishon. דרכך וכני באורח מישור לעמת וממרה לעמת וממרה. Don't deliver me over to the desire of my adversaries, for false witnesses have risen up against me, such as breathe out, Hamas. Lule emanti, lule emanti, lule emanti, lirot betuv Adonai be'eretz chayim.
That was terrific, Jack.
Fabulous.
Okay. People have been saying so in the chat. Tasha, whenever you're ready.
Here goes. Each other. None of us had met before, though we felt like we knew each other. It was this wonderful being able to study and read in Havruta. And then we were talking. We all agreed that this was not one of our favorites of Bernstein, and how much we had loved her in the past. And we talked very much about the beginning, that it seemed like she was putting it all on God. If you don't hear me, then I'm going to slide in the muck. And then that shifted, we shifted into conversation, talking about some of our own conceptions of God. We looked at one other version of the variation of difference. It was a wonderful conversation. We talked a little about Shakespeare too. So I'll stop there so other people have a chance.
Okay, Saul.
So Marianne King and I were our Havruta, and we discussed, first of all, about, in light of the discussion we had just at the end about COVID and the vaccine, and especially Dean's comments, and how this translation fit that there are people who lie and deceive, and they get away with it, and they become powerful, and it is very simple and easy to be dragged in after them and to say, look at them. Why should I be good and and do what you want? I should do what they want. Punish them. And then we got into a whole discussion about raising Psalms to the level of prayer. Are we supposed to be reading Psalms as prayer or as poetry? And that's it.
Okay. Linda Solomon.
Yes. Hi. Our Chavruta was very interesting because we had a newbie with us. Rhonda Rose was a very new person today to our group and to our class. And so as we were reading Bernstein, we were also discussing the importance of Psalms and a lot of other things as well, so that we could catch Rhonda up on what was going on. The other person who was in my chavruta was Laurie Spear, and we kind of read the psalm and discussed it, each portion of it separately, so that we could give Rhonda a really good idea of what it was all about. And of course, my favorite part, and we stopped there, was the very end, because your truth is what remains when human power wanes, I found was very profound. And we all three looked at this and said, well, this is like the end. It's the first time she uses poetry, rhyming in her poem. And the way she laid it out was like a slowing down, so that you felt that it was coming to the end of her thoughts about this song. So we looked at it that way. And the other part we really, really liked was the demigods on stilts. So that was really a very significant point.
Am I next?
Yes, Julia.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I worked with Sarah Sill and Lori Krotman. We had a really nice conversation about the psalm. We talked about, the kind of structure of the psalm in three parts, beginning with the personal situation of suffering and yearning of the speaker, and then kind of generalizing to this social justice moment, an element of anger there. And when does the desire for justice become a little bit vengeful? Not all of us were comfortable with the kind of heightened anger in that section for our own healing. And then it seemed like the speaker then recognized that and pulled back from the anger and brought it back to the community, and also to God, so that living in truth is not just living in your own personal truth, but living in a shared truth that is cosmic and social, and that requires work in order to find it and affirm it. It's not a propositional truth, but it's a kind of existential truth of living in accordance with, or living in concert with. And that takes a lot of work, and prayer is a tool towards that work. And we also talked about the rhyme and that sense of ending with the couplet, and how that was the most powerful kind of takeaway moment intentionally by the translator for us as readers. I hope that got everything.
Marianne?
Yes, I was with Saul, and he described what we did really well. But for me, the deepest learning came towards the end, where we talked about putting, and he mentioned it, putting the Psalms on a pedestal, which I've done since the beginning of this class, 18 long months or whatever. And it's hard for me to relate to them. I don't feel them. I don't feel any comfort or any inspiration. And so we were just talking back and forth about taking the Psalms off the pedestal. They're not prayer. They don't have to be prayer. For some people they are, but they don't have to be. So for me, that was kind of the biggest takeaway to the learning session. I thought the Bernstein translation was really good. I liked it. It's pretty much, but for me, that was the pedestal thing was the key.
Okay, 10:48 and no hands up. So maybe we should declare the class over for today. And I think we can leave the room open for a few minutes, although not forever because Tasha has other things she has to go do.